Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you how I made this quick swing easel card using the Something Fancy bundle of product. This bundle is part of our mini catalog and is a great addition to your stamping supplies since it contains all kinds of sentiments and has these wonderful coordinating labels and tags. So let me set this aside and I'll show you how to get started. I'm going to be using my early espresso for this project and my stamp set, the Grateful for Everyday Magic. And I'm going to stamp that here on the left. I'm going to be die cutting this, so it's okay that it's a little crooked. And then I'm going to take the same ink and stamp the thank you, which is also going to be die cut. So let me cut those out and I'll show you how to assemble the card. Okay, I'm going to start by scoring my swing easel base. So I am going to take this and score it at 5.5, and then I'm going to score this at 2 3/4, which is in half. So here's my regular card base score line, and I've scored it a second time in half by 2 3/4. So I've got that finished and I can start assembling. I'm going to start with my inside panel, and so I'm going to add my basic white cardstock here, but before I do that, I'm going to add this strip of designer series paper to the bottom. I like to do this first because that way if there's any overhang, I can adjust and trim as necessary. And I'm going to do that about, I don't know, a little more than 1/4 inch from the bottom. There we go. I'm now ready to add this to my card base. And of course, if you had wanted to stamp something on this as an inside message before you attach, this is a great time to do that. I've got that done, and I'm going to fold this in half using my bone folder, and then I'm going to fold this in half again using my bone folder. And I'm ready to create the easel portion of my card. So I'm going to bring in this beautiful sentiment, flip it over, and add some Stampin' Dimensionals. Now I want this nice and strong, so I'm going to add some extra ones here because this will create the closure, or the stand-up portion of the easel, and so we want it nice and bold. Flip this over and attach it right here in the center of that panel. There we go, and as you can see, that'll hold my easel in place. Now the next step is going to be building the swing portion of this easel, so I'm going to set that aside and start layering. I'm going to bring in my designer series paper and adhere that to my early espresso layer. I just love the way the early espresso here as a neutral picks up the center of those flowers. And then I'm going to add this strip down the center. And this is simply a second pattern from this pack of paper. And I'm going to adhere. Love the painted look of these images. So there we go. I'm going to next add my tag here onto my card front. And I wanted to show you quickly, I'm going to be using this flower. I've fussy cut it from this piece of paper that has the ombre look with the flowers in different shades. So I've got those pieces in place. I'm going to add this, and I'm going to add it flat because I don't want a lot of bulk on this here. And you can kind of place it so that you know where you want your flower to go. There we go. And then I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to adhere that to the center of my tag. Now this is also at a little angle, and I'm putting it down a bit so that I can add a bow here, and you'll see that in a second. Next, I'm going to take this beautiful flower and decide how I'm going to place it. And I'm liking, right about there. So this I'm going to pop up with a couple of dimensionals. So I'm going to add 4 of them just to give it lots of support. Now if you had many dimensionals, you could tuck them into those little petals with no problem, and you'd have a little less aggressive adhesive. So I'm going to place that right about here. There we go, on my card front. And I'm ready to add my bow. Now I've already tied my bow and trimmed it off my bolt. And I'm going to bring in a mini glue dot, pick it up simply by squishing it on there, and I'm going to adhere this right here below this beautiful flower image on my die cut. And at this point, if you want to, you can trim the ends the way you want them. Let's see, I'm going to trim it about there. So there we go. I've got my card front done and I'm ready to apply it to my easel. Now I like to add a strong adhesive to this, and the quickest and easiest way I know how to do this to add the adhesive in the correct place is to add a little adhesive along the top. And you can use tear and tape with this, or your Stamp and Seal Plus is nice and strong, or I'm using my liquid adhesive here. And I'm going to set that down, press, and since I've added the adhesive on the bottom here and the top on the card front, it'll go right in place and swing up. Now that I have that done, I'd like to add a little bit of shine to my project, so I'm going to bring in these opaque adhesive back gems. They're part of our mini catalog and they come in 4 colors, so they're perfect for this project because we've got the basic white, the fresh freesia, the melon mambo, which is also in this paper, and I believe this is gorgeous grape. So it'll pick up the different colors quickly and easily. I'm going to take and add, let's see, a large gorgeous grape here. And I think I'm going to take one of the smaller fresh freesias and add it here. And then I think a larger fresh freesia and add it right here onto the designer series paper. I'm going to fold this flat and add a larger of the fresh freesia here and the larger of the dark here. And I think I'm going to take one of the smaller white dots and place it, let's see, right here at the top. I need one more, so I'm going to take one of the small gorgeous grape and add it right here onto the band. So there you go. It adds a little shimmer and shine and some dimension to this beautiful swing easel card. I hope you've enjoyed this project, and of course, if you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.